As you can see from the different camera angle,
Part 2?
This is part 2 of our wonderful comeback episode.
Yes, ma'am.
Man, I just X'd out of the intro.
It's okay, I got it.
Okay.
My nose is doing a thing now. We love that. Okay. All right. So, hello. This is Sonika and Chelsea. Welcome to the Armbridge podcast, where we dismantle the system like the revolutionaries we are, one podcast episode at a time. Today is October, well, for us it's October 22nd, but for y'all it's probably like November already, so. Yeah, last week we did a part 1 to our comeback episode for all the songs we were excited about in August, September, and October. And this week we are continuing it with a part 2.
Let's go.
Woo, oh, I almost dropped my book. Woo!
Okay, so a quick recap of the songs we covered last week. As you know, our tier list looks a little different today. It's all S tiers. And again, disclaimer, this doesn't mean like in any way we think, like the bottom tier is S, right? But if we ever put anything in there, it doesn't mean we think the song is bad. Again, it's
still
an S tier.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're assuming that like A, B, C, and D are like below this, but we're not gonna
We're not even gonna bother. We know they're better than that.
Yes. Okay. So far in quadruple S tier in no particular order, we put Red Tape and Blue Tape by Higher Music, which are albums. Put Criminal by Taemin. In triple S tier, we put Dynamite by BTS and Open Mind by Wonho. And in the SS.5 tier, we put Dawn Diddy Dawn by Dawn featuring Jessie and Gunshot by Card.
Yes.
So, yeah.
All right.
Okay, speaking of Jessie, we have Nunu Nana as our first song to evaluate
First
today.
song of part 2. All right. I have to read my notes again.
No problem.
Like we did last episode. So, would you like to go first?
Yeah, first of all,
right.
I don't get the Jessie hate, okay? Like,
I really don't.
I don't get it. I think, like, her personality, though, is just very, like, different for the industry itself. Like, she's very outspoken. She's very, like...
Which is great. I love her.
We love to see it. And just, like, the solidarity that, like, she shows with, like, other female artists. And, like, she's so versatile as, like, a vocalist and a rapper. Like, we love to see it. And I'm not saying she's, like, a version of Megan Thee Stallion, but she and Megan Thee Stallion have, like, the best, like...
The same energy.
Yes. And, it's just, I don't know, I love her so much. She's just so...
I want to be friends with her.
Abashedly different. I love her. Yes.
Yeah. Jessie, if you're listening, hit us up.
Please.
I want to be your friend. Anyways, yeah, so same thing as you said, the boss energy is just so strong in like all of her songs, every single one. The choreo is also so fun and memorable for the song. I loved it. Like, it's a whole like TikTok challenge and stuff now, and it's so fun. I love it. This is one of the songs I genuinely really want to learn the choreo to, and I've learned the choreo to like half a song, so that's saying something. Also, I'm so happy to see her finally blowing up this year. Oh my god. She deserves it. She's been in the industry for so long and she's so talented. Literally all of her songs are good. There's not a single one that I've disliked or even like been just okay with. Like every single song since I first got into K-pop that she's released is on my playlist, on some playlist I have, because all of them are just fantastic. She's amazing. So kudos to Jessie. I'm literally so happy for her because she deserves it. As you said, also her style is so like distinctive. I don't think I could think of another like female Korean rapper that like emulates or has a similar style to it. Like, it's just, you know, it's her, which I really appreciate. She knows her style and she really like goes full force with it, which I love.
Yeah.
So yes.
And I think like it wasn't really a problem, but I used to like not really think about like girl groups and stuff too much because I would be like, oh, it's like, or just female soloists, like, oh, I mean,
bubblegum pop.
Bubble pop wasn't.
There's nothing wrong with
It's iconic.
Yeah.
But I used to think like, oh, this is like so ultra feminine. Like, it's not really my thing. But the more that I've like grown to like listen to more female soloists, like, we need some of that. We need like that ultra femininity.
Yeah.
Because even though like I don't identify with it, it's like in some ways I can embrace like my own femininity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I used to be the same way. Like, especially like in my freshman year itself, I was like, I don't really listen to girl groups that much. You just gotta find the right girl group. I know like the really mainstream ones are like bubblegum pop, which I love, but it's just not my cup of tea. You know, like it's nice to listen to, but as you said, I don't necessarily vibe with it with my own personality, which is fine. That's fine. But y'all, you just haven't found the right girl group. If you don't stand any girl groups, that's like, I'm gonna take issue with you because you should.
Or at least like female
at least
soloists,
one.
Right?
Oh my, female, so don't even get me started. Oh my god, I will, you know, we had this discussion. I will go off for hours.
Okay.
About soloists. I love them.
Honest to God, I'm putting Jessie like in triple S, like straight up.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Let's go. Love her for that. Okay, speaking of female soloists, I think in terms of like popularity, and just overall hype, Megan Thee Stallion in the past 2 months, okay?
She's been on fire.
Even though she went through, like, obviously what she went through, if you guys didn't know, like, the fact that she released, like, 2 freaking singles, like,
I feel like every week she's releasing a new single. That's what it feels like to me. She's like, okay, new single. I'm like, oh, again?
And it's like...
I'm not complaining, but, like...
I don't know. And in the process, like, all of these songs, like,
Queen.
She's used her platform, too, in a way that, like, promotes, like, such, like, healthy messages, even though, like, the songs are a bit explicit, right? But, they're still, like, very healthy and, like, long-lasting messages, and so,
yes.
In the past, like, 2 months, she's released WAP, obviously, very famous, and Don't Stop, so.
Yes. She makes me feel like a powerful woman. That's my biggest contribution. Again, I don't have much to offer in terms of like hip hop and rap for commentary, but I started listening to her music because it's a funny backstory. But a couple months ago, there was some like creep in my DMs, and he was just really, really, really pushing it, and it was gross. It was disgusting. So, anyways, I blocked him. But regardless, in order to feel a little less violated, I listened to like Megan Thee Stallion for like 3 hours straight. I would recommend it. I would 100% recommend it. If you feel angered by anyone, she can fix that for you. Like, it's just like, I am powerful. I refuse to be violated by any man. It was great. That was exactly what was going on. And thank you, Megan.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, I sounded weird for a second. Sorry. But I think like, first of all, like, it's so funny because my brother wants to take WAP next year, like World History AP, but every time...
oh, is that like the new sophomore year joke thing? Is that...
Or I was like, isn't it so funny that sophomores right now are probably joking about WAP as in WAP, like WAP? That's just so funny.
Oh my goodness. What a time for them to be alive.
I know.
They are...
It's just perfect.
Witnessing and can relate to a cultural reset. That's fantastic.
And, yeah, like, even with WAP, right, like, I think the song itself, again, I watched this, like I mentioned last week, that, I watched this right after watching Criminal by Taemin, so it was just, like, I was like, what? Like, I was just flabbergasted. But I think the song, like, really started a lot of dialogues about, like, sexuality in music, because, I don't know why, though, because as, like, someone who's, like, casually listened to rap for a while, like, I was surprised that there have been songs, like, before this that were, like, as explicit, if not more explicit, by women as well.
Yeah, but when a woman does it, it's like...
Yeah, it's like, I don't really get
suddenly an
the
issue.
point.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just kind of ridiculous, and, I think, like, she handles it in a way that's, like, not really, like, fetishizing people in any way. It's just like, oh, I like to do this because I like to do it. It's like, okay... and that's...
The boundaries are there, which I appreciate a lot.
Yeah, you know, and it's like...
Yeah.
I feel like with sometimes male rappers, like, they fixate on, like, a part of a woman's body, or occasionally like their
it's objectifying.
yeah, like their ethnicity or something like that. And it just like turns me off so much.
Oh God.
Because it's like
yeah.
I don't know. I think like the song sort of destigmatized like talking about that in music because it's like a normal thing to do. Yeah, I don't know. That was like my take.
No, I agree 100%. Yeah, it started a lot of interesting conversations, which I didn't see the problem with anything, but apparently a lot of people did, so good for them. Good for Megan and Cardi.
Yes. For impact,
Yes.
I'm like I just want to put in the quadruple S. Not even gonna.
Honestly, the impact was undeniable.
The memes.
Again, top of Billboard charts. We stand Billboard toppers in this house.
Also, like, you know all those, like, remixes that they made with WAP? Like, it's just so funny.
The Halloween remix, it's never left my mind. In fact, no, dude, the Halloween remix plays in my mind more frequently than the original, and I don't know why. Like, the organs.
So good.
Oh, that's fantastic. Whoever did that, you're a creative genius. I hope you have a long and healthy life.
Also, like, I think there was one, it was like Bohemian Rhapsody.
There was? Oh my goodness. What?
Oh, wow. It was so good. It was so well edited.
Amazing. Yeah. I heard the medieval one too. That one was fantastic.
It's so funny.
This is how we spend our Saturdays, ladies.
Okay. And speaking of Megan Thee Stallion, her most recent release is Don't Stop. So.
Go stream that. It made me feel like I was in a boxing ring. I don't know. Something about the music just.
It's like
pow
yes. It has like Eye of the Tiger vibes, where you just want to like do some physical strength, like some physical feat of strength. And then the song is like playing. When she says "work it," right? It's just like, I will do it.
Yes.
And yeah, I actually thought like the feature was good too. The visuals were like really creative. Her outfits in the video, like, hello? Just like, wow.
They're mine.
I mean,
yeah.
And she like opened up a scholarship based on the name of this song, which is awesome.
Ladies, you know I applied. You should too.
Wait, like deadass, when is the deadline? I keep forgetting.
I don't know. I did it a couple days ago, but
okay.
It's to promote women in education, or like women of color pursuing higher education.
Yes.
So
we'd love to see it from her.
Ladies, yes.
And it's just like, it just shows like, you know, just how multifaceted women are, right? Like, you can get the bag.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about, so she's like doing, sorry,
you can like get the bag and get your degree. Like, wow.
I love that about her too. It's like a similar situation to PH1, right? Where it's like she's doing like a super like hardcore STEM subject as like her degree, and then like absolutely killing it in the music industry at the same time, and like I love her.
I would lay down my my life.
Lay down my life for this woman.
And she's from Houston, which just makes it so cool. It's just so cool.
Yeah. Houston, Texas, baby.
Love to see it. Okay. I honestly, like, I was thinking to put this in, like, SS.5, but for the fact that, like, she started so many just cool things with this song.
Initiatives based on it? Yeah. I think it deserves triple.
You're right. Okay. Literally women in music. Love to see them. And, okay, speaking of women in music, we have CL's Post Up.
Another strong woman.
Which, like, this was literally not even an actual comeback. It was just, like, a preview for her comeback.
It was just an introduction. It was a trailer.
The impact. Wow.
I love her. She is back. Oh, my commentary is going to be so bad. She's back. I'm so excited. My lighting just died on my phone. Wow. I am so excited. Her first single actually comes out tomorrow from the album.
Tomorrow.
So.
It's amazing. Like, I don't, because there's not much for me to comment on because it wasn't an actual song. I was just so excited.
Right? The hype was there.
But I think, like, the experimentation that she's done with her music, like, I'm kind of basing this off of like her last comeback, which was like so extensive. I had no idea because I saw one video. I was like, oh, there's one video. Then there was another one. There was another one.
Down the rabbit hole we
and
go.
they were all like so different, and I think like just so introspective of like her career thus far, which was like really interesting. So I'm just like excited. I don't really know how to rank this because it's a trailer, and I think it hyped me up well.
Yeah. It got me excited, all right. Yeah. Are we gonna rank it?
I don't know. Like, I
don't know.
I feel like just putting it.
I don't think we should. It was just a trailer. It would be unfair to.
I feel like just putting it in the middle tier, just so it's in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. CL, we love you. We're excited.
Can't wait. Like what the heck? I think it's like her album that's coming out soon, and then Song Me Know of Winter is just coming out like soon around the same time.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be absolutely devastated.
What a time to be alive, guys.
What a time to be alive. And I think we were like talking about this before, but I feel like the comebacks that we're talking about have come out at a normal time, but it's just now that we're like in quarantine that we get to like fully focus on
and like appreciate all of them. Yeah. And I noticed that through my Spotify playlist as well, right? So I make my playlist based on the year. So I have like a whole 2019 playlist, and then I have my 2020 playlist. And my 2019 playlist has total 200 songs. We still have 2 months to go, and my 2020 playlist has 250 songs. So, oh boy, I've had so much time to like find new music and like appreciate it. Great, I'm happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last 4 songs that we picked out for this part are ones that we picked out ourselves. So, individually.
This was not a group decision.
So,
yeah.
I think the first one you picked was Backdoor by Stray Kids.
Okay, so Backdoor. So I'm with Stray Kids how Chelsea is with BTS, where it's like, I want to get into them eventually, and I really want to do like my research, but time. But Backdoor was impressive. So I mentioned, we listened to God's Menu last time. I mentioned their debut, Elevator. And I hadn't really like listened to anything since then other than Side Effects, but I really I have a lot of respect for them as a group. And so Backdoor came out, and I didn't really know, but then everyone was like, Sonika, you gotta listen to Backdoor. You gotta listen to Backdoor. You gotta listen to Backdoor. I was like, okay, I will. I wasn't disappointed at all. I wasn't disappointed. It was so catchy. One, I will never ever get over Felix's voice. It gives me like a train in every single song. Amazing. And the production was just so like, it was so creative. I loved like how it had like that kind of, I don't know what like the word for it is, but you know like those like old timey mystery movies, the intro and the outro kind of had those vibes. And then it was also like hip hop, which I found the combination of the two was so cool.
Also the choreography. What?
Yes.
Insane.
It was so
fun. Insane. I was like, are they actually moving that fast, or am I just like...
I know. Oh my god, imagine being a good dancer.
No, what the heck?
Yeah.
So I'm in my room
That's
just like dancing
really
like this, and I can't express like...
I know. I can do Bollywood, but Bollywood's very like... It's the premise of it is that like everyone can do it. It's fun. It's like you move, you express yourself, you just have a good time. This is like cardio.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
And I thought the song was like a really interesting like, because obviously it's like a party song, right? Like, I mean, let me in through the back, like let's hang out. And I think they conveyed it in like a really unique way and
cool way.
Like the visuals of like them dancing while all these other people are looking down from like this giant tower thing.
That was cool.
What was that about? I don't know what that was about, but I love it.
Their videos and their music has like a whole bunch of symbolisms, which I really want to get into them, but it's an emotional investment that I don't know that I'm ready for yet, but I will eventually.
I guess like since we're both new to Stray Kids, S for Stray Kids.
We're back with the alliterations.
I kind of just want to put it in SS because I'm just not familiar with their style.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Me neither. But it's still an S. Solid.
Mm-hmm.
S for solid.
Okay. And actually, the next one is kind of one that we both liked a lot.
Yes.
Dean's Howlin' 404.
Okay, this isn't even from this year. It's from 2019. I don't care. How did we discover this just this year?
Facts.
It has been playing non-stop in my headphones since like April when I first discovered it. Like, where do I even begin? Like, he's so creative production-wise. Every single song, it has his style, but it's so different. Like, every single song is like fresh and new, and you're like, wow, this is different. Second, his voice, like, the runs, the falsetto, his falsetto is fantastic. Like, dude. Yeah, this is all incoherent. I forgot to take notes on this one, but it exists in my brain. Yeah, his voice is amazing. The production is so unique. Mm-hmm. I love how he, like, samples audios from, like, different things, and his use of, like, sampling is so creative. God, I just... Wow. And the bridge of the song is so catchy. Okay, I'm gonna gather myself. Go ahead.
No, you're good. 'Cause I think I also listened to this while working out, so I was like kind of just like, I stopped and I was like, hello?
Chelsea's trying to work out. BTS is over here like, I'm gonna stop you. Dean's like, I'm gonna stop you.
Because I think like the lyrics, again, I wasn't super focused because I was like, I was working out. And I think like it was super experimental, and like what you were saying about like the sampling, I think that just makes his songs like so much more intimate in a really nostalgic, weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. And
no, I get it.
He's just so like like every time he's experimental with something, you're like, it's probably not gonna work. But it does work.
But it works.
It sounds so good at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. No, it's funny. Dean's one of those artists, it's like, I don't openly express how much I like him as an artist, but he's always in like my top 3 most listened to people every single year. Like the Spotify stats that show up, he's always in the top 3. There's not a single song by him that I dislike or even am okay. Like, I'm only realizing this year, like, Sonika, you actually really, really, really like his music.
Why have I not valued it sooner?
I know. So.
Well, this isn't a comeback, but like, I'm straight up just.
He still belongs in the quadruple S tier.
I was gonna say the same. Just Dean as a person. Also, this is kind of unrelated, but also related. But when I listened to Instagram for the first time, like, you know how there's that part where it stops and you think the song is over and then it starts over again?
And, like, bubbles up, and it's like, sometimes I feel like Robin thinks so. Make it super sad. Yeah.
I fall for it every time. I'm like, the song's over, but it's not over.
No, it's over.
I'm like, oh.
No, it's not.
It's chill, though.
Yeah.
We love him.
No, I listened to that song when I was very, very sad, and the lyrics were, like, weirdly relatable, so that was my comfort for a solid 6 months. Yeah. Instagram's another 10 out of 10 song.
Yeah. And now we're gonna cry to Howlin' 404. Thanks, Dean.
Thank you for providing us with
okay, so the next 2 I picked out. The first one is called Natat by Blue and Nafla. I was actually gonna do a bonus episode on my other podcast about like the music video itself because it was so like interesting. I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but like the music video is essentially like Blue and Nafla are like rapping like to the camera. And it shows a lot of shots of, like, students, like, facing the blackboard, and, like, they're sort of, like, just isolated as, like, the main characters, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And also that, like, I thought it was kind of cool that they decided to do the music video on that topic, because I watched an interview by them, like, when they were talking about this song, and they didn't even, like, go to high school in Korea. They both went to high school, like, in the States.
In the U.S.
Yeah, so I thought it was, like, an interesting, like, I don't know if it was, like, a critique of, like, the Asian school system, or if they were just, like, these outfits look good on us, we're gonna do this. And, I don't know, I just thought the song was kind of clever, and Nafla has an iconic line, Blue has an iconic line. I don't know, I just thought it was, like, kind of interesting.
It was catchy. I was actually going to ask you what the lyrics... I didn't watch the music videos. I played it through Spotify. But I was going to ask you if you knew what the lyrics meant.
Oh, yeah, I watched it with subtitles. I watched the music video. And basically it's saying, like, oh, my fame, it's not my fault. My success, it's not my fault. Because I think Natot is, like, my fault. So, like, all of the success that I have and, like, all of the people that like me, it's not my fault. It's like, oh, I'm just successful because people, like, are drawn to me.
It fell into place that
way. And I'm being criticized and I'm being, like...
Interesting.
Viewed as, like, this person, like, who does this thing. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, the music kind of... So I commented mostly on, like, the music itself because I didn't have the lyrics to go off of. But it gave me the exact same feel. It was, like, melancholy, but, like, still kind of upbeat. Like, I really liked the piano and how it was, like, mixed. Because, I don't know, it just... I think that was the seller for the mood. It gave it a very, like... Even though it was hip-hop and it had, like, the beat, it still had, like, a very melancholic undertone, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. Actually, it's unfortunate, though, because, like, there was something that happened, like, with them in the recent, like, season of, like, Show Me the Money. It's, like, a whole other thing.
Would you like to rant about that?
Okay. Show Me the Money is probably the best and worst show that I've ever watched in my entire life. You've watched some episodes with me. It's pretty crazy. It gets wild.
Yeah, I watched a couple, yeah.
Like, basically, it's like The Voice, but hip-hop in Korea. So you have, like, different teams that are all headed by, like, really popular hip-hop artists. And then on the show, right, it's, like, basically a free-for-all. You can audition as an amateur, or you can already have a music career going onto the show. So it's a little biased because, obviously, like, if you're already established as a good rapper and you go on the show, the judges, who are also professional rappers, are like, oh, I already know this person is good. You kind of see where I'm going with this. There's a lot of, like, sort of politics behind it, like, you know, behind the scenes stuff. I think I talked about this in my solo episodes as well. That, EK, right? He was in the semifinals.
EK.
He had an absolutely iconic performance, okay? It was objectively, I don't know, I'm just biased. It was so much better, but the person who made it over him into the finals, he's also really talented, don't get me wrong. But, like, he had such a hype from the beginning as, like, being branded as the winning candidate. They do that, like, every year.
Oh,
like,
really?
every year
Okay,
they're, like...
So it was, like, predetermined almost.
Kind of, and also, like... But when you brand, like, someone like that on a show or anything, like, people are going to start thinking that's subconscious.
You feel obligated to act on it,
because even when he had, like, such an explosive performance on the show and whatnot, he, like, didn't even make it to the finals. Which also happened again this year. Like, I don't understand. Like, why do I have to suffer through this 2 times? But, yeah, like... And, okay, anyway, the thing with, like, these two on Show Me the Money, they're not on, or Navel and Blue aren't on it, but they were apparently tested for marijuana, and they had been caught smoking marijuana, which, again, like, I mean...
In the U.S., it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, and they're from the U.S., so I get, like, maybe there's, like, they don't really feel the negativity of it. Yeah, but their label mate went on to Show Me the Money. He was, like, censored out pretty much. Because he was caught smoking weed, which again is not criminalized in the States, but in Korea it's illegal. So there was a huge there was a huge thing about that. Anyway. Sorry. It's kind of a sad mood. Yeah. I was gonna put it just like an SS for me. I don't know about you.
I think it's an SS, solid SS too.
Hopefully they get out of their situation. And, okay, as for situation.
Right.
Sorry. Alright, the next and last song is by Sogum, called Yayo Hoi, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Featuring Oh-hyuk of Hyuko.
Nice. Okay, so, for starters, her voice is so unique. It's so cool. Like, I don't know, it sounds very, like, round. That makes sense? Like, full. But her voice itself conveys, like, a very distinct mood. Like, she didn't have to try for it. It's just her vocal tone is so unique and different. I love it. Every single one of her songs, I'm like, wow, this is a really cool, like, quality that you have. So that's one thing. Two, this song was a whole experience. Like, it was like 7 songs in one. The beat changed, the tempo changed, like everything changed. I'm listening to it and I'm like, whoa, this is new. Whoa, this is new. But it was like seamless. The transitions were all completely seamless. I was super impressed. It was a whole experience.
That's also like what I have to say on that end. I think like the song, like someone theorized it was like how she like took hate comments and stuff. Because I think like because she won a competition show and she signed to AOMG, like J Park's label, and like a lot of people are really like polarized over her voice. Like some people really don't like her music, which I don't get as a fan, right?
Listen, Unique is good, y'all.
No, like she's just so like multifaceted. She's really talented, and I don't know. I hope people stop. Like, again, like the Jessie hate, I don't get where this is coming from.
It is unbased.
We need to have a talk, but yeah, I think I really liked it. I don't have much to say. Where do you want to put it? I don't really know.
I thought double S as well.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think she's had like other songs that have
Nobody made
more
the S
impact
tier,
for
look at
me.
that.
This one just kind of came out at a random time. But yeah, okay.
What?
It kind of came out at a random time for me, the song. Yeah. And that...
I listened to it this morning.
It's chill. But yeah, that concludes our list. We didn't put anything in the S tier.
Everyone is better than an S, look at that.
Yes. Okay, I'll just recap it. Oh, my voice is dying.
Alright, so, drum roll, this is the final lineup.
Alright, in the SS tier, we have Backdoor by Stray Kids, Netat by Blue and Nafla, and Yayu Hoi by Sogum featuring Oh Hyuk. In the SS.5, I can't believe we did that. That's just comedic gold.
So funny.
We have Dawn Diddy Dawn by Dawn featuring Jessie.
This is just affirming our indecisiveness.
Love to see it. Okay. We have Gunshot by Card and Post Up by CL. In the triple S tier, we have Dynamite by BTS, Open Mind by Wonho, Don't Stop by Megan Thee Stallion, and Nunu Nana by Jessie. In the quadruple S tier, we have Red Tape by Higher Music, Blue Tape also by Higher Music, Criminal by Taemin, Howlin' 404 by Dean, and WAP by Megan Thee Stallion featuring Cardi
Yay!
B. Yay!
Alright.
And, yeah.
So, are we gonna segue into... We just discovered how to spell segue, by the way. This is a new and interesting revelation.
Yeah. Can we talk about that? Because, okay, like segue, right? Like to segue between one thing and another is spelled S-E-G-U-E. G-U-E.
Versus the moped thing, a segue. Those aren't the same thing, turns out.
Yeah, because I was spelling it S-E-G-W-A-Y this whole time.
Autocorrect stopped me. They're the one that taught me it. I was spelling segue like the moped thing, and autocorrect's like, no, it's S-E-G-U-E. And I was like, are you sure? And I go on Google, like, the dictionary, and lo and behold.
It's, S-E-G-U.
It's Segu.
Segu. Yes, that's that. And,
that was
the worst.
Segue into Deep Questions with Friends. All right, so first question. I'm gonna hit you with like the worst one so far.
Just go for it, dude.
This
it's
is
chill.
91 because it's kind of long again. Is the concept of you continuous, or does the past you continually fade into present and future you? In other words, what part of you sticks over time, considering that the atoms that make up your body are constantly being replaced and your memories are constantly changing?
I mean, yeah, because every day you experience new things. Like, okay, conversation starters world. Like, chill out.
This is the worst question ever. It's crisis time.
I don't know. I feel like it's continuous, to be honest. Like, because, like, why would they ask about future you? I don't know her yet. Like, chill out.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking with my friend, I think 2 episodes ago, about like, you know, every year you think like, yeah, I'm gonna get over being cringy, but then you do something else that like one ups that cringe or whatever.
We're back.
We're back. Like, I think it just makes you like who you, like everything you've done makes you who you are. I think you can't just like discard parts of your. I mean, you can say, oh, I don't want to be this person anymore, but
right.
Like subconsciously, it's still you. Like, I still remember things that I've done that have shaped like the habits that I have now. So yeah, I don't think like it ever goes away. I mean, maybe at some point you forget, right? But even if you forget,
it still makes up the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Because even if I'm like 40 years old, right, and I don't remember anything from when I was 5 years old, like, if I were 6 years old, I take what I learned from when I was 5 years old and I live through that. And it's just like every year you grow onto past things until you're you. So, I mean, it's kind of like that thing that's like A equals B and B equals C, right? Like, I mean, when you get to point Z, part of it is how you were point A, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I agree. I pretty much had the same answer. It's like, even though, yes, I am technically changing, quote unquote, through like every instant and every like little bitty moment that happens, I'm not changed that much at such a grand scale instantaneously. So it's not as like flashbulb-esque as the question is implying. As Chelsea said, I think, as you said, I'm talking to the camera and you separately, this is fun. As you said, the bigger picture, like if we're going full Plato, the essence of me is relatively constant. Like, people still describe me more or less the same way they did as when I was 8. Sure, I've matured, sure, I've learned some things along the way, but the overarching, like, personality traits and values, they're pretty consistent, and they're a result of all these like past and potential future moments that'll happen. So I think that's continuous, the essence of a person. But then like all the little bitty details and values and like experiences, that's what changes. But you're still like more or less the same person throughout.
Neat.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, as much as like we hate Plato, he kind of had a point.
Unfortunately.
Hate to concede it.
What happened to my camera? Okay, the lighting's so bad. This is fine.
Would it help if you turned on like your room light, like the lighting room?
It turns on automatically. It's got like a couple minutes left, so.
Oh, okay.
We'll just wait for that.
Oh, this is a little interesting. It's a tech question. Question 190 says, at what point is a technologically enhanced human not a human anymore?
Oh. Huh. I think once emotions are out of the picture, that's when a human's no longer a human. Because you could, like, change up chemicals and hormones as much as you want, but, like, the nuances that come to see, there she is. Okay. The nuances that come with like emotion and like I could feel sad, but there's so many variations of sad. I could feel bittersweet. I could feel melancholy. I could feel like really like sad and like heavy. I could feel sad with like a tinge of anger. Like, that's something I just don't believe technology can ever replicate to the precision that we have it. So I think once emotions are taken out of the picture, that's when like a cyborg or some kind of like human bot combination stops being human.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, my first thought was just the brain itself. Because I think to some degree, like what you were saying, right, emotions are really important, but I think we make a combination, or we make a decision based on, like, a combination of, like, logic and knowledge. Because if we're basing it off of, like, the MBTI types and stuff, like, people either make decisions, like, with emotion or with, like, knowledge, or, like, they lean more to one side
or
than the other. Or a combination
of, yeah, like, a varying degree of both.
Like, I mean, yeah, to some degree, like, I'd say, like, for me, maybe just, like, thinking about it now, it's, like, 60%, like, emotion, 40% logic. But obviously, like, I feel like there's no, like, one side where it's, like, 100% logic. Because you still use, like, your emotions to do that. Right. So when you, like, remove the brain, right, which has, like, just critical thinking and decision-making skills that are built up over time, that's when it just stops. You're just a full-out robot at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're INFJ, right?
Yeah.
That's why we get along. Okay.
Let's go.
Yes, man. All right. Let's see. Okay. Speaking of Plato and his wacky idea for society, how much privacy are you willing to sacrifice for safety?
Safety, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what this would mean. Okay, well, I'm gonna think about it, like, in terms of society, right? Because I think, like, I mean, obviously when we sign up for things, right, we have to give out our addresses, our social security numbers, all that stuff. I feel like it would just become invasive if it comes down to, like, figuring out, how do I say this? Like, it would be invasive, like, if it comes down to asking about my preferences and whatnot, because then it becomes, like, I don't really know, because I feel like as much as I want things to go my way in society, or I believe in certain things, it should be, like, a more neutral, if you get input from, like, I don't know, I just feel like there should be a neutral approach to, like, decision-making and whatnot, and when it becomes, like, invasive of, like, who you are as a person, I don't think I'd be willing to give up that much. I don't know what situation that would happen in.
I think we've already crossed that threshold, like, through, like, technology and stuff, and, like, these algorithms. I think we've well surpassed. I mean, obviously it's not for safety, it's more for, like, a capitalistic benefit, but I just, like, made up a term. It's for our privacy is breached for money. Let's just keep it simple.
Yeah, it's true.
But for safety, honestly, not much. I'm very, like, picky about my privacy and, like, how much people know about me. Like, this was something I was thinking about in terms of, like, emotions and, like, feelings. I share a lot about, like, what I do and what I think, but I just came to this realization, like, last week. It's kind of a tangent, but I don't really care. I hardly ever share what I feel. Like, I'm really, really bad at sharing my feelings. Not my thoughts, not my experiences. Like, I'm an open book, but simultaneously, like, all the pages are blank.
That's a good description. That makes sense.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so bad at sharing my feelings, and I just realized this. So, I value my privacy a lot, that's a new revelation we've come up with. So, honestly, I think the reason I'm the reason I'm not, like, completely against technology and, like, these algorithms just yet, yeah, they're terrible, yeah, they're, like, a breach of privacy, but it doesn't personally affect me as much yet because my thoughts are out in the open, like, and the algorithm, until it starts collecting my feelings, I don't think I would be, like, too worried about it. Like, yeah, you can take my thoughts and opinions. I don't really care. Do whatever you want with that. It's a little weird, but go for it.
Let's go.
But I think once, like, the, like, innermost, let's see, if I could go, like, psychology, you know, the whole, like, the ego, the id, super ego, and then I forgot what the fourth level is. I think as long as we don't go down to like ego level, we're doing fine.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we just get the, what do you call it? Artificial.
Surface level stuff can go. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay. I guess this will maybe be the last one. If I don't know if we answered this before though. Okay. Number 140 says, if doing something good for others makes us feel good, can there ever be such a thing as pure altruism?
I think we answered something similar, and I think so. I mean, the intention is there. I mean, I think it's a little bit more. My favorite word this week is nuance, if you couldn't tell, but I think it's a little bit more nuanced than just like, this makes me feel good, so I'm gonna do it for others. Like, there's still a level of like, I want to do this for another person, because I can make myself feel good without helping another person. Like, I could just sit in my room and like do my interests and hobbies, and that would still be fulfilling for me. But there's something nice about getting that personal fulfillment and also serving others. That I think that's the distinguishing factor. Even though it has personal benefit, I think it still can be considered true altruism, because I don't have to help others. Like, even if it makes me feel good, there's a lot of other things that make me feel happy and fulfilled. And so, yeah,
that makes sense. Again, it's kind of like what Aristotle was saying about like teaching virtue. Like, whatever is virtuous to you, it depends. Like, it's not as universal as like Plato says with like the good thing to do. Oh wow, it's really dark in here now.
I know, same here.
Anyway.
Well, not with the light, but like,
yeah, like
it was. I was there 5 minutes ago.
It's crazy how dark it got. Anyway,
I know.
Like, it depends, and I think like we've been told like as kids, right? Help others and you'll be rewarded, or like the concept of karma, right? Like, we all just kind of internalize that. But because I think also like it sort of relates to, I don't know why I thought about this, but it's kind of related, like how people have different like love languages and stuff. Like, people feel satisfied or receive satisfaction in like different ways. And also things like your religion, your beliefs, there's like no universal, I mean, obviously there's like, don't kill people, don't be mean to people. But those are like universally bad things. But I don't think there's like a universally good thing. Pure altruism, again, I think that's like a form. That's something that I don't think anyone really understands.
Can attain to the fullest degree?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I think like, because when you die, when you go to the afterlife or whatever, there's like varying degrees of good, I guess, right? But there's probably a threshold where it would be like a decision between like if you would go to hell or not. So in that sense, like, pure altruism, I don't think so, because everyone's done something bad, or, you know, how do we know if we're like doing something because we feel good about it, or because like it's been conditioned and is in our subconscious?
Interesting.
I don't even know.
No, I get what you mean though. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Interesting.
What started in quarantine has now come to a non-temporary end. Please watch part 1 of this episode, and this is part 2. So listen to the playlists. We're gonna put those out probably on our website or something, and probably a YouTube playlist as well, so you can watch the music videos too. Thank you again to Conversation Starters World for some great philosophical questions yet again, and we will see you next week with another episode.
Yes.
Bye.
Goodbye.